Alrighty, hello, it's Alice again, and today I will be showing you how to clean up the chicken hop movement for this assignment. So if you've already watched the other tutorial I filmed, as I said in that one at least, first thing I personally like to do is just go ahead and play the video. Get a feeling for what is going to be up, what's happening. So there we have like a foot problem, and just so you can get a general feel for what you're going to be cleaning up today. So first I'm actually going to go and turn the opacity down on the model so you can see all the markers. But yes, and then just go into the editing and labels and just go ahead and look. So the back top, perfectly fine. All these don't have anything missing. The left wrist appears to be missing some data, but nothing considerable, or at least you see it's a very small one. So like the other ones, just go ahead and fill that with cubic. And move on to the next. Ooh, sorry, I keep hitting the wrong button on my laptop at least. So now we have this ankle, but for this, I'm not going to go ahead and do that first and foremost. I'm going to start going from the waist downward to see. So we are having some waist issues. So we're just going to go ahead and look through all those. This one seems to be the lowest, so we're just going to go ahead, select, fill range, and go ahead and smooth this out. Give it a couple smoothings. Check the back marker. Again, some small things here and there, so go ahead and just fill and smooth. Check this one. So there are some issues, really plain issues. Oops. So we're just gonna go ahead and look at what's going on there. And there doesn't appear to be any unmarked markers in that position, so it is going to be easily filled. But the best way I would recommend it, since it is parallel to the one in the back, just go ahead and shift click that and use pattern based fill. Go back. Oh, sorry, right. You want to click the one you want to fill second. Very sorry. It's filling. It's going to take a little second. Go ahead and click on just that one again and smooth her out. Give her a couple smoothings. And then you can do the same for the rest of the hip markers. Since these are all going to be relatively the same. Oh, there's actually something going on with this one. So yeah, that's fine. Just go ahead and refill this one. Smooth it out. Grab this one. And then this one. Fill object. And then this one should be completely good and dandy. We also need to, so we can't select any of those things and it'll get in our way. Yep. Smooth it out a bit. and then going downwards. This is less than 100 frames, so Cubic will be fine for this. And it still says there's something missing, so just go to Fill, smooth it out, play it through, make sure nothing's happening. Yep. Next one down, a lot of jittering, but was there anything missing from it? Nope, so we can just go ahead and smooth this one out. And move on to the next. Same situation, few little small tiny gaps, maybe like a frame. Fill it, smooth. This one needs to be smoothed as well. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. To the shin. Small ones, just go ahead and fill, smooth. And now, like we said earlier, we had this ankle that was messing up. So here, it's a bit obvious. We might have had a swap. Do the drastic turn. So this seems all right, but we really lose that ankle right here. Looks like we might have an unmarked marker. But honestly, we'll just return that real quick. We're going to do all these ones real quick, just to get them out of the way. The toe. Just go down the leg again. See what the issue here is. Things fine and dandy. Just some dropping. And there's an unmarked marker right there. So we're just going to go ahead and look at her. Select it. Go out of the timeline to the marker we need. So there's definitely a drop and swap from this range. So we'll go back, we'll extend that range a little bit, select the marker, and swap range. We'll go here, and although that got a lot of the data out of here, it definitely is like making sure that that weird swapping isn't happening. So we're just gonna go ahead and fill this with Cubic as well, since it's less than 100 frames. Fill the whole object, give it a couple smoothings. Back to the labels, back to a position where we can see everything. I use this one. And here is some potential swapping right here with what we're about to find out. So there also isn't any unmarked markers there, so it might just be a really bad jitter. So just go ahead and try to smooth that section out. and then just fill the whole thing in case there's anything that we missed, and give it a couple more smoothings, and we'll see if it stays where it needs to stay. And yes, it does. So it's probably just some really bad jitter data. Next one. This one also is has some data lost, but right next to it is a marker. So we're gonna go ahead and select it. And there's all that data we need. I'm gonna go ahead and swap range. Click it again. Fill range. Oh, and we're gonna smooth out the whole, sorry. Object, smooth out the entire thing. Make sure that knee doesn't go anywhere. Beautiful. Go. Left shin, no issues, just needing a little bit of smoothing. To the ankle. So appears to not have anything wrong with it, so we can just go ahead and smooth this out as well. The ankle, well, we just did the ankle, so now we need the heel. And as you can see, there is some data missing, so we're just going to go ahead and scrub and look in that area, see if there's any markers that might have appeared. And it doesn't, so it looks like it was just a drop. So we'll select that area specifically. Less than 100 frames, so fill range. For cubic, you're going to want to use that if you haven't watched the other tutorial I personally made yet. You're going to, from what I was told, you're going to want to use cubic if it's 100 frames or less. If it's 100 frames or less, just go ahead and use that, and then if it's more, look for the mark draw, any unmarked markers to see if maybe, you know, there's any data that was there that was just swapped, or, you know, go ahead and try to fix some other things and then just use pattern based, because it'll take the data and from the two, like the markers around it that you select. This one looks good and it appears good on the label, so we're just gonna go ahead and smooth this outer one out as well. Well, inner toe. The toe tip, same thing. Just go ahead and smooth her out a bit. And the outer toe appears to have some problems, but they're small problems, so we can just go ahead and fill and smooth her out as well. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna go ahead and scrub through to see how that leg works, because that leg is not going anywhere funky, unlike the other one is. The other one 100% is. So we're gonna go ahead and start on that other foot now that we have this one at least set, which will help as well because we can most likely use pattern based for these as well, since they're hopping roughly in the same position. So we have the ankle, because we already did the shin. So we're gonna hit the ankle, we're gonna scrub through it. And there's a couple unmarked markers. And to our knowledge, that's a little too far for it to be that. So I would not trust it personally. because that ankle also snaps right back eventually. So let's take a quick look at the other ones just to get a feel for what's happening in here. Because back left. Oh, okay, yeah. So we also have some stuff that we missed up here. That's just because it was further on the list. Don't worry about it. The best way personally, I didn't do it this time. Just go ahead and like look through the list. If you see any ones, just go ahead and honestly clear those out first. They're probably going to be the easiest. Unless it's that like ankle where you saw it where it says one, but it's clearly the problematic part. You know what I mean? So right back, we're just going to go ahead and use this one as a reference, and we're just going to pattern paste it. Cubic, and smooth it out. Toe, heel, okay. So now all we have are these markers down here. Which makes me a little concerned since it just kind of jitters slightly. It looks like it could be potentially swapping with the outer toe. So we're just going to bring her back, select the outer toe data, and look her over. We're going to combine them. This is another view you can like look at your data in if you want to. There's also tracks, which will help you easily spot the gaps specifically. We're going to go back to channels though. We're going to go ahead and just select the ankle. And sometimes I like to just flicker through these to see, like this one, it looks like this is the marker it is messing with. So, okay, it might actually be that one. I kind of just ignored the earlier. So we're just going to go ahead and swap it just to see. We can always, undo things. There's an upside to this, is we can always undo things. But the ankle's all the way out there. So again, I very highly doubted that was what we were looking at here. We could just try to, oh, wait, there's one right. Is that an unmarked marker? That is one. Okay, so everything beyond that is actually incorrect, it looks like. So we have to find one with a lot of data missing. This is the one we said no to earlier, yes. Okay, so this foot's definitely going to be a little tricky. Let's look at the ankle, as I said. We can even just, because these are all just going to be cubic fills. Fill range. Zoom out. Check this ankle real quick. Make sure it's not doing anything wonky. drop. And right there is an unmarked marker. So we're just going to go ahead and select all of that data, take it back. Don't know why the model's tweaking out, even though it's fine. Select here. Oh, but that unmarked marker comes in. Yep, swap range. She's right back where she needs to be. So this could be potentially a drop, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. Because then she comes back and she is fine. Or that marker we misjudged earlier. Looks like it actually be our heal data. This is one of the more, as you can clearly tell, this is a tedious part of this. But once you get these feet cleaned up, I'm going to guarantee you it's the most satisfying thing like you'll ever experience. Especially once you get to your own projects and like you really want this to look good. It's going to be so satisfying just to have this done. So now we just have smaller gaps so we can just fill and smooth it out. And that heel is done. It's still gonna look a little weird because that ankle is broken. But we know we have the heel done, so we can even select this. We can zoom in on this. It's a very small situation. It's literally just the Control Y. So it's going pretty far down. Let me select this as well. Let me look at this firstly. Because there's an unmarked marker right there. So there's the data for our outer toe. Go ahead and swap range. She's still a little wonky, but I'm getting ahead of myself. We need to figure out this. Because here, there is a very clear marker drop. A clear marker swap from here. And as much as it looks like these are okay on the X and Z, it's the Y that's the problem. So we still need to look around for any markers in that area. So that looks to be a little more what we were working with originally. Yes, so now we just need to go back into this gap and figure out where this data went. I mean, worst case scenario, we select the shin, the toe, the heel, and that, the ankle last, and we give pattern-based a try, just to help that out. There's this little jitter here. We can smooth this out just really quickly just to get a feel. Deselect this selection, and just keep an eye on that heel to see if it's where it needs to be. And it is where it needs to be. So sometimes you are going to spend a good hefty amount trying to like just try to figure out piecing some things together. And if something doesn't work, but you have these, you can go ahead and give pattern-based a try just to see what's happening. Because now we're going to take a look at the inner toe. There is a swap there. But it looks like this might be one big drop except for this part, which has quite a bit of data, so this might just be what we're looking for. Gonna swap that range. Give the toe another selection, just the outer toe itself. And this is definitely a swap, but we don't need that marker data. So I'm just gonna go ahead and delete that. Since you can go ahead and see, and there's the rest of that data we need. Swap range. This toe again. Just gonna go ahead and delete this small little part right here. Oh, it's swapping with the outer toe as well. So we're gonna go ahead and select that little range we were in, swap. Get that out of there. Select and just see. Yes, 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 yes. It is less than 100 frames, so go ahead and fill it with cubic. I know it's a little weird looking, so we're just going to go ahead and so we can actually just go ahead and Control Z to get rid of that. We'll fill the smaller gaps first. And then we'll come back to that part here shortly. Since it is just a gap, but for I mean, yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and reswap this with the outer toe because I think I might have personally misjudged that. I don't know why I didn't swap that range. Swap range. Nope, it's not swapping. It looks like it's potentially swapping with the toe tip. I'm going to select the same range, swap it. Yep, and that looks good. I'm just going to go ahead and delete these small little bumps just because it was probably some excess toe tip data that we might have taken with us. I'm going to fill it with cubic and smooth the whole thing out. We're going to run through it, make sure that's staying in place. And honestly, with that, this foot is already looking so much better. She's staying put together as it needs to be. Labels, so yep, the toe tip. We're just going to run through it. Appears to be one big drop in this scenario. So we're going to go here. And there is this unmarked marker right here. So that's probably just our outer toe. Our outer. So we can just go ahead and select this. And firstly, let's figure out how much data is missing here. Because we can always go back, select this, and swap the range. Delete that small little spot. Same with here. And then fill the object. Smooth her out. And oh, there's an unmarked marker right there. That's definitely going to be your toe. Swap the range, go back to the toe. Fill it and smooth it. And now we play through it and that foot is all fixed up. Go back to the labels real quick. Oh. Alright, that was just the model tweaking out on my actual screen. So now we're going to go ahead and select the whole thing. Edit. Give her a couple smooths. Which is going to be the part that takes the longest since it has to smooth out so much data. And then after that, you're all cleaned up and good to go. And apply it into Mobu. Thank you for sticking around with me. I'm sorry my tutorials are so weird. This is my first time recording any form of tutorials for anybody. So hopefully it's helpful. And if I stumbled everything like a lot in places as I did, and you're having problems, don't hesitate to reach out to me in class or, you know, through Discord even. And with that, that is all. I'll see you guys around.